A $315 Android tablet with 5G just beats the $499 iPad Mini in every gaming metric that matters. And it is not even the best one on this list. One of these has a turbofan spinning at 20,000 revolutions per minute inside the chassis. So here are 4 compact tablets that outperform the iPad Mini, ranked from good to ridiculous. Links to all of them with the best deals and discounts I could find are in the description below. The Alldocube iPlay 80 Mini Ultra is the cheapest tablet on this list at around $315, and it is also the only one with 5G cellular. Every other compact gaming tablet on the market is Wi-Fi only, which means you are tethering to your phone if you want data on the go. This one takes a SIM card and connects directly, which might be the one feature that decides everything for you. The 8.8-inch IPS display runs at 2.5K and 144 Hz, and the Dimensity 8300 chip inside scores around 1.7 million on Antutu, which is enough to run most mobile games at high settings without dropping frames. You get 12 gigs of RAM, a microSD card slot, and 33 watts fast charging with bypass charging, so you can game while plugged in without stressing the battery. It ships with Android 16, and Alldocube says Android 17 is coming.
The trade-offs are real though. This is a budget brand, and Alldocube has a spotty track record with firmware updates on older models. Nobody outside Alldocube has tested how this thing holds up during long gaming sessions, so take the no frame drops marketing with a grain of salt. And the 500 nit IPS display is the dimmest on the list. But for $315 with 5G and bypass charging, nothing else in this size class even comes close on paper. Regardless of what tablet you end up getting, your browsing, your location, and what you do on the tablet could be visible to people you never agreed to share it with. NordVPN encrypts everything leaving your device and hides your IP address, so nobody on the other end can see who you are or where you are. Link in the description for up to 75% off with 3 extra months free. The Xiaomi Pad Mini is 6.46mm thin and weighs 326 grams, which makes it thinner than most phones and lighter than anything else on this list. You can hold this one-handed through an entire gaming session and forget it is a tablet. The 8.8-inch 3K LCD runs at 165 Hz with 403 pixels per inch, which is the sharpest screen in this entire lineup. The 7,500 mAh battery gets you around 7 to 8 hours of mixed use, and 67-watt charging gets a dead battery past 50% in about half an hour. But there is a catch, and it is a meaningful one. The MediaTek chip struggles with emulation because of GPU driver issues that Snapdragon does not have. So if you're looking to play GameCube, PS2, or Switch games through emulators, the Xiaomi is the wrong pick. The other trade-off is that Xiaomi's software update commitment is shorter than Samsung or Apple, and there is no microSD for extra storage. For mobile gaming and media at $429, this is the best value on the list. But if emulation is the reason you're shopping, this is the wrong $429 to spend. The Legion Tab Gen 5 is Lenovo throwing absolutely everything at an 8.8-inch tablet. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is the fastest mobile chip you can buy right now, and paired with up to 16 gigs of RAM, it loads games and switches between apps so fast that everything feels instant. The 3K display runs at 165 Hz, you get a microSD card slot, and the 2 USB-C ports mean you can charge and connect a controller at the same time without choosing one or the other. The 9,000 mAh battery is the biggest on this list and translates to roughly 10 to 12 hours of mixed use, which is comfortably a full day. The cold front vapor cooling keeps the chip running well during gaming, but independent testing shows it still throttles to about 76% under a long heavy load, with the back hitting close to 48 degrees. It is fast, but it is a sprinter, not a marathon runner. Now for the elephant in the room. This tablet costs $840 Lenovo already discounted it to around $700 barely a month after launch, which tells you even they know the sticker price is hard to justify. And you are still getting an IPS LCD at that price, not an OLED. Software support is 3 years of OS updates plus 4 of security patches. At $700 on sale, the value math starts to work. At $849, you are paying a premium that the screen technology does not quite back up.
The next one might be the best compact gaming tablet you can buy right now. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed the video so far, give it a like and subscribe because every video shows you the gadgets that are actually worth your money. Now, before you hear OLED and think it is just about prettier colors, it does more than that in gaming. OLED pixels turn off completely for black, so dark scenes look dark instead of that washed out gray you get on every IPS panel on this list. The pixel response time is also much faster, which means less motion blur when you are panning the camera or tracking a target. And for long sessions, the contrast is easier on your eyes than a backlit LCD. The RedMagic Astra pairs that 9.06-inch 2.4K OLED panel at 165Hz with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, up to 24 gigs of RAM and a full terabyte of storage, which is enough room for your entire game library and every emulator you want to run. But the cooling system is what separates this from everything else here. RedMagic stacked dual vapor chambers, liquid metal thermal compound, and a 20,000 RPM turbofan inside this thing. Yes, a real fan in a tablet. It drops core temps by up to 8 degrees compared to passive cooling, which means the chip keeps running at full speed through long sessions where every other tablet on this list starts slowing down. You also get bypass charging at 80 watts and a 2000 Hz touch sampling rate, which is the kind of input responsiveness you feel in competitive shooters. The trade-off that matters most is software. RedMagic commits to just 3 years of support and 1 major OS update outside the EU. That is the shortest on this list and well behind Apple and Samsung. There is also no micro SD and no charger in the box. And yes, this is a Chinese brand, so if you are worried the Chinese are spying on you, pair it with NordVPN. You can try it for 30 days through the link in the description. But at $550, you are getting an OLED screen, active fan cooling, a flagship Snapdragon chip, and bypass charging for $300 less than the Legion Tab Gen 5 charges you for an IPS LCD with passive cooling. Dollar for dollar, nothing else in the compact gaming space comes close. Now, to be fair to the iPad mini, iOS app optimization is still ahead of Android for a lot of titles. Games tend to run more consistently on Apple hardware because developers optimize for a small number of devices instead of hundreds. If you are deep in the Apple ecosystem with Procreate, Apple Pencil workflows, and iCloud, none of these tablets replace that. But if gaming performance and refresh rate are what you care about most, the iPad mini is not where the value is right now. And if you can wait, 2026 is about to get even more interesting. OnePlus is launching the Pad Mini globally later this year with an 8.8-inch AMOLED at 144Hz, which already makes it the first compact OnePlus tablet with an OLED panel. It runs the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, carries an 8,000 mAh battery with 67-watt charging, and the whole thing is just 5.4mm thin at 279 grams. If OnePlus prices it below $500, and they have a habit of being aggressive on price, every compact tablet on the market will need to answer for it. And then there is the RedMagic Gaming Tablet 5 Pro, which just launched in China and is expected to go global as the Astra 2. This one pushes the screen to a 9-inch OLED at up to 185Hz with a 9,500 mAh battery, the largest in any compact gaming tablet. The cooling system now combines water cooling with a turbofan, and it ships with a built-in PC emulator for running desktop games on Android. If the global price stays competitive, this could reset the entire category. Subscribe so you are the first to know when those land, because both of them are going to need a full breakdown. And if you want to see 5 tablets under $300 that make the iPad look like a scam, go watch this video.